morning. It's Thursday, November 2nd. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Up to the Minute. I'm Sade Campbell, the Strategic Enrollment, Communications, and Social Media Manager here at HCC. Pleased to be joined by my co-host, Dr. Alana Pagao, who serves as HCC Northwest College's Director of Communications. Good morning, Lana.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you today. We've been bumping into each other since last Friday, almost every day.
I know, almost every day. That's so funny.
Yeah, for people who don't know, with 19 campuses, that's happened. That doesn't happen often when you don't work in the same location.
So
Well,
true.
yeah. And for those who are trying to find HCC Up to the Minute, where can they find us?
They can find us live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, and we're on YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
All right, thanks so much for that. Well, just like it is every Thursday here on Up to the Minute, it is Thursday Family Fun Day. We're going to be talking to a local museum about its family festival. Joining us to talk about it today will be Tarina Frank, who's the Educations and Program Manager at the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft. Welcome to the show, Tarina.
Hi, thank you.
So happy to have you. You and Lana are going to chat in just a second. But first, we're sharing some good news. HCC has just received a boatload of funds in terms of grants. Here to talk to us about what exactly we're going to do with this free money at HCC is Elizabeth Sanchez. She's the Manager of Grants Reporting, Assessment, and Planning for the Office of Resource Development and Innovation Grants. Welcome to the show, Elizabeth.
Hi, thank you.
So happy to have you. Listen, my first 4 years here was in financial aid. So I spent my time communicating about, some free money in grants, but so much of our work was also funded through grants from the state, private donors, and other sources. Let's begin with telling us about the function of the Office for Resource Development and Innovation Grants here at HCC.
Okay, so like you said, I'm from the Office of Resource Development Innovation Grants. We work with public funding, so federal, state, and local funding. It's separate from what the HCC Foundation does with private corporate funding. So we have two teams in our department. We have the grant development team. That's the one that's out there searching for grants, securing the funds, applying, making sure we receive those funds. And then I work on the post-award side, so the grants reporting, assessment, and planning, making sure that the funds are spent, that things go well, and that we're implementing the grants well. So that's a little bit about what our department does.
And I appreciate you making a distinction between the foundation and what you all are doing. So about the grants reporting, assessment, and planning team, what you all like a good higher ed administrator love is a good acronym. So you all are called GRAP. Let's talk a little bit about them and how they support the institution.
Okay. So we work on the post-award side once we've received the funds, once everything has been set up and we're trying to figure out how to use the money and what that looks like. So we work directly with the faculty and staff member called the PI or principal investigator that's going to be managing the grant. And we help them kind of throughout the life cycle of the grant. If they have questions, they need to know the federal regulations. They need to know what the grant says they can use the funds for. We help serve as a resource to them to make sure that they have all the information they need to be able to be successful in implementing their grant. And then we work with them to kind of track their progress throughout the grant, make sure they're meeting the objectives, all the money's being spent like it should be, the things they can spend it on. So we help make sure everything's going smoothly. They need to make any adjustments. And then we connect them to the right people at HCC so we can all collaborate and make sure that the grant is going well. Whether they're hiring people, they need to work with talent engagement or purchase. Anything they need to do, we help make sure that it runs smoothly. They spend all the funds, everything is done well, and we can close out the grant.
All right, so you all are definitely, institutional support service. Now, for let's take someone like, let's say someone here at HCC is listening, has interest in a grant or has seen a grant somewhere on a website or organization they are affiliated with. What should they do first in engaging? Should they apply, then contact you all, or should they start before they apply with your office?
Always come to us first, so we can help you look at the grant, see if HCC is eligible to apply. We'll know if there are other grants out there that we're currently waiting on decisions for, so we'll know if it fits with what we're doing. We help make sure that it fits into the HCC strategic plan and that it can work across HCC campuses for what they're trying to do. So come to us first. We'll help you look at it, make sure everything is going well, everything works out, and then we can help you start applying for it and get the approvals that you need, make sure everything is written well, and just get the application off in a timely manner. So we will
Got you. So setting us up for success before we even begin the process. So you mentioned that GRAP comes into that the GRAP team really launches into support mode after post award. How are they, who works with the GRAP team, and who can we expect to help monitor these grants?
Sure. So we have 3 coordinators, GRAP coordinators, that work directly with the faculty and staff who are implementing the grants. So 3 of them, and then myself as the manager, and sometimes I work directly with the grants as well. So you'll be assigned a specific coordinator, and you'll work with that particular person throughout your entire grant process. So you know who to call, you know who to ask questions of. You have that person that's helping you out the whole time.
Gotcha. And I know you all have, in more recent years, started doing newsletters to keep people up to date on all of the grants that you all are tracking, monitoring, have on the watch list. And I see some of those numbers, those wins that you all have around how many grants we have. So how many grants have we closed this year?
So this past fiscal year, we closed 23 grants. And yes, that's all in the newsletter. We are starting to highlight our PI's names and the particular grants that have been closed throughout the fiscal year, so everyone can see the great work that's being done with the grant funds. So we have the 23 that closed out this year, and throughout the entire fiscal year, we monitored 60 grants overall. So some of them are maybe 3 or 5 year grants. They're ongoing. We're still working with them now. So there's a lot out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So 60 grants for this year, but how you're explaining is if it's a multi-year grant, that it is not closing this year, but you all are working on a lot more grants than that and providing assistance to them, right?
Correct. So we're always getting new ones coming in. They close out at different times throughout the year. But currently we have 32 active grants. So that's pretty common, 32 to 40 some odd grants that we have at any given time.
Got you. And for those who are wondering, we talked a little bit about where do they start, but a good place to start would be a training session for the grant. So what is your upcoming schedule for the training sessions?
Right. So we actually have one tomorrow. Tomorrow morning is our next quarterly training at 9 a.m. And if you want to attend, you still can. You can email our office, or there's a link on our My HCC page. So our email address is hcc.grantsoffice@hccs.edu. So you can reach out to us and we'll send you an invitation. And then if you can't come tomorrow, we do them quarterly. So we'll send out that information in our newsletters. It's posted on our My HCC page. We have it posted everywhere. If you're interested, just let us know. We would love to have more people come to our training and see what's happening with grants.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming to share today, Elizabeth. For those who's joining, we've been speaking with Elizabeth Sanchez, who is the Manager of Grants Reporting, Assessment, and Planning for the Office of Resource Development and Innovation Grants here at HCC. If you're tuning in and you're interested in applying for a grant or learning how you can help your department apply for a grant, information will be posted after the show. Thanks so much for joining us, Elizabeth.
Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
All right, Lana, moving on to you and Tarina.
Yes, now we get to talk to Tarina Frank, Education and Programs Manager for the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft. Welcome to the show, Tarina.
Thank you so much.
So let's begin with an overview of the center.
Sure. Houston Center for Contemporary Craft is located in the Museum District. We have free admission always. So that's one really great thing about us and visiting us. Our mission is to advance and educate the public about craft. Don't confuse us with the Contemporary Arts Museum, also in the Museum District, also free admission. But, the difference I would say between the two of us is one is more contemporary arts and we're contemporary craft. And so here at the Craft Center, we also have artist studios on site. So you can actually see resident artists in their studios working in progress. And also we have an exhibition hall. So there's 4 different group shows or shows happening throughout the year. And we also have a craft garden. So look out for our educational programming. It's for all ages. That also a lot of it is free and some paid programming as well.
But admission is free, correct?
Admission is free, yeah. So the difference would be like an adult workshop would be a small fee, but tours are free and a lot of our family programs are free.
Well, now there's a family festival. Can you tell us about that? It's inspired by a couple of current exhibitions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one of our longest running programs is called Hands on Houston. It's the first Saturday of every month. And it's open, again, free to the public. Anyone can pop in. It's always the first Saturday of the month from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that doesn't mean you start at 11 a.m. and you finish the project. No, it's kind of a drop in. So you can come anytime between 11 and 3. We recommend, on the earlier side because it's as long as supplies last. And the projects are always different and they're always connected with a current exhibition or a visiting artist, a resident artist, or, a holiday of some sort. But this Saturday, November 4th, is our big one. It's actually 3 times as big as our regular Hands on Houston. So we actually have 3 projects. We have demonstrations from local guilds, and we are also having a food truck on site. So there's more going on this Saturday than a typical Hands on Houston.
Right. Yeah. You say food truck and that gets everybody excited. Gets them in the door, right? Okay. So there's a Tree of Life.
Tree of Life is one of our current exhibitions. So we have 2 current exhibitions, and the front gallery is Tree of Life, which is focusing on sculptural objects and woodwind instruments, all made from the African blackwood tree. So it's really a nice survey of the use of that particular tree. And it's inspiring our family festival this Saturday. So all of our hands-on activities for this Saturday are going to be wood inspired. And we typically connect our family festivals or our Hands on Houston's with a current exhibition. So you can not only see and get inspired by the exhibition that's on view, but you can also work with wood and play with the material yourself.
So what are some of the craft activities that will be included?
So we're going to have 3 craft making activities inspired by the woodwind instruments. We're going to be making bamboo flutes using bamboo from our craft garden. We're going to do little wooden collages and kind of give them a nice veneer with watercolors. And we're also going to be partnering with the Woodworkers Guild of Houston, and they're going to be leading a race car assembly. So people get to decorate their cars, assemble and choose their shapes, and then we'll have a little ramp for them to race the cars.
Making a bamboo flute, I think is really exciting to make that. But I have to tell you, as a parent who gave my children these flutes, they wind up being just noisemakers. And we found one that we had hidden years ago just this weekend when we all thought it was pretty funny. My daughter's like, "Whoa, where's that? I've been looking for that thing." So I'm wondering how popular that's going to be. But there are going to be other craft demonstrations happening that day as well, correct?
Yes. So we have the Gulf Coast wood turners. They're going to be coming out and doing some demonstrations on wood turning on some really nice wood lathes. All the demonstrations will be happening outdoors. It's supposed to be a beautiful day on Saturday. So some of the activities are happening outdoors in the garden, and the demonstrations are going to be in the parking lot. So the parking lot will be closed because of the activities happening. So we encourage people to find parking, in nearby streets, or and then come on down to see the demonstrations. And we're also going to have the woodworkers. They're going to be working on various wood benches and doing some more woodworking demonstrations.
Let me ask you about that, because you say demonstrations, but will there be any hands-on wood turning or learning how to do wood turning, or is there a class or something that folks can take on wood turning?
We have offered wood turning classes in the past. For this Saturday, it's mostly a demonstration, but you can find information through the festival and through the guild members on where you can learn more about wood turning and kind of connect with them as a group, since they're the ones who really know the most about wood turning. And Tree of Life actually features a nice selection of wood turned objects as well. So you can kind of see the finished product and the process.
And you all are giving away trees?
Yes, we are partnering with Trees for Houston, and we are giving away 300 trees. So again, that's, as supplies last, but that includes the dwarf pomegranate tree, saucer magnolia, eastern redbud, red buckeye, and cherry laurels. So there's going to be 300 available, and another incentive to come out, but really kind of connecting again with, making objects and crafts out of wood, seeing a really expert high level quality work in the exhibition hall made from the African blackwood, but then also connecting back to natural species and encouraging people to plant more trees in their garden as well. So really trying to give the full circle of what's available with trees.
Yeah, that's really cool. Kind of the sustainability. Here's a tree, you can make things out of it, and then let's plant another tree.
Right.
Let me ask you about those trees, though, because, I'm thinking you're giving away trees. I got to bring my pickup truck. How big are those trees going to be?
They're not going to be huge. I haven't actually seen the ones we're specifically given out, but they're usually a few, they'll fit in a car. So I wouldn't be too worried. And we provide all the instructions needed for planting. And we have a nice information sheet with all the information you need to know about the tree you've taken home and how to take care of it.
So I want to ask you about the wooden race cars, because we're coming on the Christmas season, and wooden toys used to be things that folks love to get, and now they're actually prized as antiques. So do you know the process of making those cars?
Personally, my wood is not my medium of choice, but the woodworkers who will be there, I think there's going to be 13 members from the Woodworkers Guild, and they're going to have some beautiful examples of handmade wooden toys. Some of them are extremely elaborate, and so they are there to talk to the public about that process. They're there to really inspire people to continue using, these wooden toys and play with them and make them and cherish them for, generations. So I think they'd be the perfect people to connect with about that.
Do you know if they'll be selling any of the
We
craft?
are a nonprofit, so we will not be doing any sales on site for this particular event, but they will hopefully connect you with, where and who to buy from.
Great. Well, thank you, Tarina Frank, Education and Programs Manager for the Houston Center for Contemporary Craft. We'll have all your information in our post after the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
All right, Lana. Let me ask you this, Lana. How old are your kids? Because I feel like at some point they need to watch how all the stories you tell about them on Up to the Minute.
I know. So they're teenagers now, but we just have tons and tons of stories. But literally this weekend, I was up high on one of the cabinets and I saw this white thing and I pulled it and I'm like, oh, here's that flute we got from Mexico that we hid from our daughter. Because she, they do at that age, they don't have any musical abilities. They're just blowing into this wooden thing. And my husband goes, whatever happened to that kazoo that my uncle sent? And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't think I ever gave it to them.
Speaking of uncles, I'm the auntie that gives loud toys. I'm that. My brother was like, you don't love me. You don't love me.
Well, I've got to tell you this. My brother, when my daughter was about 2.5, for her birthday, he sent her a full toddler drum set. A full toddler kit. He's like, ha ha ha, have fun. Because when his daughter was small, I sent a little accordion.
So this is payback. I don't know if I would ever go full drum set. I love my brother just enough not to do that. No, but I love him deeply and I love my nieces. But yeah, that's always hilarious. And I remember I went to Cancun and that was one of the things that, like, those little wooden toys, right. It really was. It's considered an antique, but if you consider every toy that's made now is designed to distract, that makes them slow down. It makes them have imagination, right. and go deeper into play. So team, bring back toys that don't make noise and spark imagination. So that sounds like a lot of what they are going to be able to do at that museum. Well, I think we've chatted a good amount of time. It's time to wrap out with some announcements. I'll kick things off. We will be having an event today focused on domestic violence and human trafficking, a really important topic, and specifically in Houston, that's being done a lot of work since we're on the Gulf Coast with human trafficking. So the Counseling and Ability Services is hosting a special presentation called The Intersection of Domestic Violence and Human Trafficking. It'll be happening today at noon at HCC Central Harmon Building, and details will be posted after the show so you can check out the event.
And it is the 40th anniversary tomorrow, Friday, of the Bedichek Orman auction. And what a great occasion to welcome Wendell Bedichek's daughter, Dana Bedichek Work, to the auction, as well as our Faculty Teaching Excellence Award recipients. So be sure to wear your 1940s themed costumes. This event raises funds for adjunct instructors for their professional development. And that is tomorrow, Friday, November 3rd, 5:30 to 9 p.m. And that's at the West Loop Auditorium. And check out our post after the show for more information.
All right, well, Veterans Day is coming up, and at HCC Coleman's campus, they will be doing veteran cards and cupcakes, honoring all who have served by creating cards for veterans at the Michael DeBakey Veteran Affairs Medical Center. It'll be happening 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tuesday, November 7th at the HCC Coleman Atrium. Details will be posted after the show.
Right. And it's Homes for the Holidays. 'Tis the season for the drama department, so they're gifting us with a mystery. It's December 1936, and a Broadway star known for playing Sherlock Holmes invites fellow cast members to his Connecticut castle for a weekend of fun. That is, until one of them is stabbed to death. Dun, dun, dun. And that is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, November 9th through the 11th, and Monday, November 13th at the HCC Stafford Fine Arts Center. It's free, but you need to make reservations, or we're encouraging you to. So we'll have that information in our post after the show as well.
You know what? I actually scrolled back on the script and I was like, was the sound effect in there?
I love a good murder mystery, whether it's a book or a movie. I'm just all about that stuff.
Yeah, I like reading psychological thrillers, but I think that's a fancy word for a mystery as well. Yeah. At the end, you still have to solve the mystery.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it is the season of giving, and it's our I Love HCC annual giving campaign. The HCC Foundation is having its annual I Love HCC fundraising campaign to inspire HCC employees to make personal donations in support of our students. A payroll deduction is the easiest way to set up a reoccurring gift, and some giveaways and drawings will be held during or after the campaign. Check out the post after the show to learn how you can support our students.
And spring registration is open and ongoing, but it also includes the popular mini session offered during our winter break. And all courses are offered either in person, online, or hybrid. And our online anytime is no established class meeting times unless listed. Online on a schedule, meeting time is set and course meets online. We have hybrid, which lecture class meets partially face-to-face and partially virtually. In person is face-to-face courses with traditional meeting patterns at various campus locations, and our hybrid labs, which are our laboratories and studio courses. So to learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and options to cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
All right, coming up tomorrow, it'll be Film Friday on Up to the Minute, and the Houston Cinema Arts Society will be here to talk about its big annual event, its film festival. And later, we'll discuss the MOU signing between HCC Coleman and Harris Health, in addition to talking to HCC's Communications Club. Thanks so much for joining us on this edition of Up to the Minute. We'll see you next time.